And you are listening to the New Music Alliance Radio Hour. And I'm Mark Sherry here with Tobey LaRoche and our special guest, Steve Rodgers, as we have our spotlight on Steve's recording studio, Tiny Bunker. And all the songs we'll be playing will be songs that Steve has recorded with his clients here at his Tiny Bunker studio. And we just heard Frank Critelli with The Way of the World. And before that, James and Mila with Spark. So, Frank Critelli, The Way of the World, his brand new tune, just released like what, a week ago or so?
A week ago, yes, something like that.
So, a 2026 release. Frank is a native of Meriden, Connecticut, and a long time major stalwart in the Connecticut original music scene and folk music scene, and just a great guy, and somebody who really supports other artists as well as his own career. And this is just a really cool song. It's sort of like a historical treatise on modern life and how society tries to divide and conquer people and turn us against each other. But I guess we're going to fight against that.
Yeah, thank God for folks like Frank Critelli, and, his heart is for helping out the little guy and being the voice for those that can't speak. Now, for this track, this was actually recorded live, which is something that I also do. I love taking field trips outside of the studio. It keeps me active, lifting speakers and recording here into venues. And this was recorded at the Bigger Beast annual holiday toy drive at Lyric Hall in New Haven back in November of 2025. And I mixed it in the studio, but really Frank just delivered it. The only thing I did was maybe make sure it sounded clear.
I really, really, really love this tune, and I recognized it when I heard it. And then I saw, oh, it came out this year? How do I recognize this? And I realized that I'm pretty sure I heard him perform this song at an open mic, possibly at the Iron Horse, maybe Parlor Room. I'm not sure which one he would have hit up. But I definitely had heard this song before, and at the time, I remember thinking how poignant and how important it was for the time that we're living through right now. It really left a big impression on me. It really makes you want to sing along, too. That whole on and on and on part is so good.
Absolutely. In fact, as I was mixing it, it was stuck in my head for quite a few days. So
yeah.
Major props to Frank Critelli. He's the salt of the earth.
Yeah, the song sort of has an old, like one of the old Dylan-esque qualities tunes. It's got that, that social consciousness. And I love the way he talks about how and soon the robots will be healthier than we are.
I think that might be already happening.
Yes, I think that's true. And we started out that block with a brand new tune also from James and Mila, Spark. These are two young artists that definitely have a bright future.
Yeah, I was also going to say that I think your philosophy, Steve, is really important, especially because everyone needs people to record them of all levels, like you said, and a lot of the people that are on this playlist today are people that started off as, everyday folk that just met each other and were hobbyists, and they started playing together, and then they were able to create these beautiful songs together. Everyone needs those opportunities, and these are two very young, older teenagers who just, they need someone who can give them sort of the guidance through that process without any of that, there can be a lot of, I don't know what to call it, sort of, what would you call sort of
the producer thing where ended with telling the client how they should sound rather than
exactly
letting it flow through the client.
Yeah, it's important to have that freedom to explore because everyone's at different levels of their experience with their music.
I think that especially when I'm working with younger folks, letting them explore, every idea fully is, what makes the magic happen for them in recordings, because a young artist can go out and play at open mic, you know what I mean? But if it's their first couple of recording experiences, it might feel intimidating. And my job as a producer is also just to make everybody feel like welcome and at home and comfortable, because a lot of people do get nervous going into the studio, especially when the record button gets hit.
Yeah.
I've been in recording studios, recording as an artist since I was just a puppy. Probably 15 years old was my first studio experience. And, you know, my old band, Mighty Purple, did put out 9 albums, and I've put out a few solo albums at this point, a few of which were just like, you know, simple releases and stuff like that. But we've worked with a lot of producers, and I've garnered a lot of great things from a couple of the producers that we worked with during Mighty Purple years, such as Vic Steffens, who runs Horizon Studio in West Haven, Connecticut. He was a huge influence on me. And I find myself all the time saying Vic-isms, as I'd like to call it, you know, sort of like, you know, channeling what he would, you know, make a choice with in the studio and that kind of thing. I think that when you work with a producer long enough, they kind of become part of your soul and your bones. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
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 Music, soul, and bones. That's what I mean.
So James and Mila's tunes spark. And by the way, James and Mila from New Haven. I guess James now going to school down in New Orleans, you mentioned. This particular tune it's so catchy, and Mila's, I love her vocal style. The way she sings sort of, to me, evokes real emotion. And I love the way she sort of has this knack to be able to bring the energy level up and down as she sings. It almost sounds like she's taking you for a ride.
Those energy changes too are really fueled by really nice, like, rhythmic things too, which I found really cool.
Yeah, for sure. You know, I was blown away when I first saw them, and then when they came in the studio and basically we're capturing everything in one take. I mean, I think that was one take that she did all the way through, and not a pitch issue anywhere. You know what I mean? And the whole emotion behind it felt really right. You know, it's just really psyched to get to work with that project before they kind of went their separate ways off to college. But I think that they still are planning on doing some things. I haven't been in touch with them in just a little bit, but they're great young adults.
So we've got 2 more great tunes from your treasure trove at Tiny Bunker coming up. We're going to hear a tune by Liz Reed, and we're starting out with Frank Viele with Move Over.